Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. This is your morning news show for Manchester United and plenty to talk about today. We've got to talk about a 17-year-old Wonderkid coming out of Italy that may have potential links to Manchester United in the future. We'll look at the centre-back options that United continue to look at in the lead-up to the summer transfer window, more so than this one, and plenty more to talk about as well. Please smash a like on the video. Let's get into it. So we're going to start with 17-year-old Wonderkid Simon Pafundi coming out of Udinese he's currently playing for. Now, potentially he is going to be moving to Ineos-owned Swiss club Lausanne, which is going to be Manchester United's sister club in the near future once Sir Jim Ratcliffe takes over the club and ratifies his 25%. It was coming out reports yesterday out of Italy, and Di Marzio then confirmed it. He's joining Lausanne on a 12-month loan with an option to buy for more than €10 million. The owners of Lausanne are also owners of Nice, and more recently they bought 25% of Manchester United. Pafundi can then move to a club that can give him a wide chance internationally. So this is the benefits that we're looking at. You know, we spoke a couple of weeks back about, owners, I suppose, club owners, and, I think it was voted for, there was no real complaints about the majority of clubs within the Premier League, and that's because the majority of club owners now have more than one club, and I think this is going to be the benefit of having the likes of a Jim Ratcliffe in there, where you can get these young players and try and get them to maybe the sister club, of Manchester United, and try and develop them and get game time under their belt. We've talked an awful lot about signing young, hungry talent, and while getting them to Manchester United, is a lucrative offer for them, it doesn't guarantee them game time, and it might see them go out on loan and so on and so forth. So having this kind of, I suppose, system in place where you can have a sister club that you can buy players, send them there to develop, and when they're ready, on you come to Manchester United, I think is very, very beneficial. And this guy does look like the real deal. We do have to be very, I suppose, careful when we're, spouting out statements. He is only 17 years of age, and he's got a lot of development left to do. But the signs are good, and it does look like he's going to Lausanne on a loan deal with the option to buy as well for, I think, around €15 million. So we'll keep a close eye on it in the coming weeks, months, and maybe even years. Now let's talk about centre-backs, and obviously we know Manchester United are looking at potentially bringing in a new centre-back in the summer, if not two, and reports coming out from the Metro today that Manchester United are open to offers for Harry Maguire as the Ligt is added to the transfer wish list. It's also been reported on a couple of different occasions that there could potentially be a swap deal if it was something that Bayern Munich were interested in. Look, we know Harry Maguire is probably going to be surplus to requirements again this summer in the transfer window. Eric Ten Hag tried to get rid of him last year. He decided to stay. Again, we're seeing player power at the moment with the likes of Anthony Martial not leaving the club because of, the type of money that he's on. Is Harry Maguire going to do something similar? I'm not 100% sure. I think if Eric Ten Hag goes to him in the summer again and says, look, Harry, you're not in my plans, even though he has come back from, the negativity surrounding potentially leaving the club, and he's done really well for us this season. I think if Ten Hag says to him, I still don't fancy you, it's time for you to move on, I think Maguire is the type of person that will go, right, okay, I think maybe it is time for me to move on if I'm not wanted here. And I think it is very vital that we do move on one, if not two, centre-backs in the summer. We know Varane's contract is up in the summer. Now, we do have an option to extend it. United have decided not to do that unless... we're not going to extend his current deal. We are willing to offer him a new deal on reduced wages as well. Lindelof's one-year extension has been triggered, so he's got 18 months left. Does that mean United are probably going to try and get some money for him in the summer without letting him run down his contract? That remains to be seen. But it does look like we're going to have to sell before we can buy when it comes to the centre-back area. Now, let's talk about midfielders, and there is, I suppose, a very promising young player playing in in Sweden at the moment, and his name, we'll have to do that again. Right, let's talk about midfielders. And there's a young midfielder coming out of Sweden called Lucas Bergvall. And this guy supposedly has been tipped to be one of the top players in Europe in the future. Reports coming out of Sweden are saying that Manchester United are very hot on the race for the teenager. Clubs including Eintracht Frankfurt, Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund have all been linked with the 17-year-old, but reports says United have been putting out feelers over a potential move, and they could have an advantage in the race with the player knowing the club. Now, it hasn't stated whether this is a January move or a summer move. At the age of 14, Bergvall spent some time at United on trial. He's also said to be a United fan and is reported to be willing to wait until the right move comes about. So that's probably going to mean that we're talking summertime. The report adds that the transfer fee for the youngster is expected to be between 8 and 10 million euro. He has played 25 times for the Swedish top tier, scoring twice and providing 1 assist. So, again, Manchester United, with the financial fair play regulations that we're looking at, these are the types of deals that we're probably going to have to be sprinkling in and amongst our transfer dealings over the next couple of transfer windows, at the very least. But we heard what Ralph Rangnick said, didn't we, a few years ago, that potentially these are the types of players that you do want to be getting with into your squad, where they're on their first and second contracts of their professional career. They're hungry. They really want to make a name for themselves. This guy, is attracting all the right interest from all the right clubs across Europe. And, I had a quick look at his stats. I won't go into them. We'll do that tonight. But by the looks of things, he does look like a really promising young player. But it remains to be seen whether United make a move for him. I mean, 8 to 10 million is not an awful lot. It could be something you could do in January if he was willing to leave. But again, we know Manchester United are probably only going to be dealing with loans in the January transfer window. So something like this is potentially going to be in the summer. But if you're getting players for 8 to 10 million, a big overhaul can be done relatively quick. Now the players coming in have to have the quality as well. But if you're spending 8 to 10 million, on a few players, it's going to free up an awful lot of money to go and buy, maybe, like we're talking about, a Ligt or whoever, or a Todibo for 50, 60 million as well. But guys, that's the morning news. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Smash a like on the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll be back tonight from 8 o'clock as well for our transfer talk show. We'll go in depth on all of these things as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.